always on the couch, smoking cigarettes. When I walk in the door, I've had another long day, my feet are sore, but I gotta pay the rent. 'Cause you damn sure ain't been blessed with a paying job today. You just sit there in your selfish way, as if I was a nobody, baby. Just a nobody, baby. Stop looking right through me. Take a look at the new me. This is somebody, baby. You're lying in our bed, watching reality TV. When I walk in the door, I'm ready for some love and more. Slip in bed close to you. I can't believe you'd rather watch the tube than makes me love to me. Do I only exist in your dreams? As if I was a nobody, baby. Just a nobody, baby. Stop looking right through me. Take a look at the new me. This is somebody, baby. The house is empty tonight, and the cloud of smoke has cleared. 'Cause I've changed the locks on every door. I won't be invisible anymore. As if I was a nobody, baby. Just a nobody, baby. Stop looking right through me. Take a look at the me. 'Cause I'm somebody, baby. Baby. I'm somebody. I'm somebody. I'm somebody, baby. Baby.
Hey, good morning, Johnson County. Welcome to another edition of JoCo Vibes here on JoCo Community Radio. I'm Tiffany Carlen with Nona Reed and Diana Roberts. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
On this summer-like Wednesday morning on January 11th, 2023. It's literally going to be a high of 86 today.
I know, that's crazy.
High of 86 on January 11th. I'm not happy about it.
Me neither. I still wanted winter. Like, I'm not ready for my summer clothes yet.
No.
I went to the gym this morning, but I'm still not ready for that.
Bipolar weather.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Make up your mind. Are we winter? Are we spring?
Right?
Feels like we're kind of jumping right into summer.
Right.
Sick of it.
Ready to go
That's
swimming.
crazy.
Sick of it. So how was, it's been a while. I feel like we haven't been here in a while,
It
but
does
we've
feel
just
like
had so much stuff going on and life's happening and getting through the holidays and post-holiday season. Are all your decorations down?
They're down, but they're still sitting in my living room.
Todd asked me this,
which is not normal for me either.
Todd asked me this morning, he goes, are we going to just keep Christmas up all year long? I said, listen, Linda, one living room is down and completely out of the house. Okay. One room down. I've partially packed other parts of the other rooms. And so I'm getting there. So my goal is to have it all done before the weekend. So
my goal is to have the kid, especially Dalton, do it. But I found out why he didn't go yesterday.
Golfing?
Yeah, he's got this cough and cold. It literally is allergy, but it's drainage probably going into his chest.
Mm.
So he has an
Oh.
appointment today at 3.
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
I
So,
woke my husband
can't
up
get him to do
at
it.
3 in the morning. I had apparently been sleeping on my back and I had drainage. And so I was coughing. And I woke him up. He goes, "Yeah, you were doing it in your sleep." And I was like, "Why didn't you roll me over and save
Right.
yourself?"
Right?
He goes, "Well, I
Right.
tried." And then he went and slept in the back bedroom. So because
Oh,
I couldn't
goodness.
get the cough under control, but I couldn't get the drainage to stop. But then I
Yeah.
had a cough drop and and then it was okay.
Mhm.
So, and I went back to sleep.
There
So,
you go.
so I mean, at least went back to sleep, but I was up for a while trying to get the cough under control. So I feel bad because he got crappy sleep because of me, but such is married life. Okay.
And he had
Yeah.
2 legs that could have walked him to the back
He
room
did. I don't know why. I asked him that. I was like,
earlier.
I'm like, why didn't you just leave like right when you woke up to me coughing, and like
Mhm.
save a whole conversation at 3 in the morning? Like, just like, cause that's what I'll do. I just get up and
Right.
I leave
Yeah.
and I go sleep in the back. So anyway, but we survived that. So, I mean, because that's what you do. I mean, you just make things work.
That's right. That's right.
How was the gym this morning?
It was great.
When you say gym, are you going to
Hot Works.
You're going to Hot Works.
Yes.
Okay. So you're doing a quick 10-minute in the infrared.
Well, I did the 15-minute. I did but I'm doing yoga tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
So you change it up?
I do. Absolutely. Yeah. So I do the hot blast, which is like, it's kind of like the elliptical, but it's better for my knees and my feet. Cause or my ankle, I can't really do the cycle. So I just stick with that.
Mhm.
I hurt myself on the cycle there.
Oh yeah. See, I wouldn't,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
hurt
if
my
I want to
neck.
do it with my ankle. I'd be too like terrified.
For me, it was more because the arms move back and forth. I hurt my neck because
Right.
they were sitting up too high, and that's okay. It's really cool. But Todd and I are back at the gym at Anytime Fitness starting tonight. So, and which is really not my ideal time. I do prefer to work out in the morning because
Yeah.
then I'm done and I just can roll on with the day. Just haven't gotten there with proper sleep time. Last night I didn't get to bed early enough because we were saying goodbye to my niece Carlen. Please keep her in your prayers. She is headed off to Morocco today,
Oh,
and
what's going on? What's
she's a semester abroad.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
cool?
She's going to school to be, political, criminal justice and all of that. I mean, she's heading towards a goal in the FBI,
Sweet.
and so this is, and she's, taking Arabic and all of that. So this is a semester abroad in Morocco and that whole area, and found out last night at dinner with them that my sister decided to. She bought a ticket and she's escorting her.
Oh, wow.
They started to get a little nervous.
How
Yeah. So
fun.
Tamara's
Wow.
headed to Morocco. They should be at the airport right now, and they'll be on an international flight. And so we had dinner at Antonio's last night as a family, and then I raced over to my house and picked up some scarves and tippy sleeves for Carlen because in some areas you may need to wear a hijab, which
Mhm.
is the
Yeah.
hood and the face cover,
And
Yeah.
that,
and the scarves can be
yeah, the
worn
scarf
can be worn that way. Or if she needs to cover her arms, or in some areas out of respect you need to cover all skin. So now she's equipped with that, and so I stayed and we played Racco and categories, and my son showed up, and so it was a good time.
That's
It
awesome.
was good family time.
That's awesome.
And then she ran out after we had already said goodbye. She ran outside when I was leaving and hugged me again and was crying. And I'm like, don't cry.
Oh,
So, we just have a special relationship. I had the honor of being in the delivery room when the twins were born. And so I literally got to watch them pulled from my sister's body because she was a C-section. And it was the most amazing thing I've ever experienced in my entire life, other than my own birth.
yeah.
But to watch someone else and then to watch actually the full process of a C-section
Mhm.
is absolutely amazing. And a lot of people can't handle it because you don't A lot of people don't realize, when they cut open and take it, they literally take the intestines out of the mom and place it on top of you. And so, I mean, I was just like, and this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like snapping like 50 million pictures, with the scroll camera. You know what I mean?
Right.
The disposable camera.
Oh my goodness.
And then Carlen wasn't breathing and they had to get her breathing because they were preemies.
Right.
And so
Mercy.
I've had, I tease my sister about this, but it's true. Because she was a C-section, I held them before she did. And so I just have a special bond with my nieces, with Callie and Carlen, and I'm super proud of both of them. Callie's living in Dallas and in her own little flat, and working an amazing job in social media. And Carlen's on her journey towards living her passion, and it's amazing. I'm super proud of them, and I'm doing my best not to worry, but I'm just praying constantly.
Yes.
That God's angels are surrounding her and keeping her safe the entire time.
Right.
Because it is scary. It's, especially in these times, everything's very unknown when you're traveling abroad. You just don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, so that was my night.
Don't even know what's going to happen here.
No, I mean, really,
Unfortunately.
we don't know day to day. Our days are numbered. We attended a funeral last week. We didn't talk about this yet,
Saturday.
did we?
No,
it was
we haven't
Saturday.
been on
We
there.
didn't. I was just
Yeah, we
trying to figure
haven't.
that out. I'm like, what day is it? And it was the most moving
Oh God, it was.
celebration of life I've ever attended. And it like in every aspect of what you expect from a celebration of life, this had every element of it, including praise and worship. And that to me says it all about this family and this community of people who have been behind Debbie Titus. Her full name is Devorah Titus, not Deborah, but Devorah. But she's known as Debbie.
Name.
I know,
It is a
right?
beautiful name.
It is.
So there's a whole story behind that too. Supposedly Olita, her mom, completely made that name up. But Trina, her daughter, who's a host here on JoCo Community Radio, she doesn't fully believe it. But then she said, but okay, whatever grandma says, is the truth. But there was probably 300 people in attendance for this funeral.
From
and then
all over the country.
Yeah, people flew in from Africa who
From
spoke.
Brazil. Well,
and Brazil.
I think, are they back in Brazil?
No, she's living in Florida.
Oh, Florida, right.
Yes. The Brazilian missionary. But there was a pastor from Africa who flew in last minute. And all these people who spoke were touching and moving. And when you hear the impact that this woman, Debbie Titus, had on nations of people,
wow,
really didn't understand fully everything that Debbie had accomplished.
I know, right? Because we had met her. She's been on on Trina's show, and so we've met her a couple of times. We did not understand until we were there the impact.
Yeah,
but it was so wonderful.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was just a very, very spirit-filled room. It was in South Lake, and I'm gonna tell you, lots of people there. They have some money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I bring that up because they were the most humble people. We watched a couple. I think they were a couple. The two guys, the one who hit it, he went down to dropped to his knees and he was praying.
Oh,
I was so moved by this guy because he's like,
know.
I don't care what anybody thinks or sees. This is what I feel in the moment. And
I'm not sure. There were 3 of them there, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I saw him, and and a lot of them didn't really care either, and they just had the Spirit of God just flowing through them. But he dropped to his knees.
I was singing loud.
Yeah,
I was singing loud.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't care who heard me.
I was singing loud. But yes, there wasn't.
Nona was singing.
There was some breaking glass. No, I'm just joking.
It wasn't. So,
I love it.
part of the reason for bringing that up is because she has this legacy that she's left behind her. And there's so much that we could read and talk about Debbie. But the most moving part of this entire thing I think for everyone in the room was her last message. So over Christmas, the family was all together, and
At the
you know,
table.
one grandson whipped out a camera, and the other one whipped out a camera, and then they had one overall camera that was just kind of capturing the room. And Debbie gave this talk to her family. You know, like, this is, our days are numbered. You know, we don't know when we're going to pass on in this life
Right.
to our forever home. And hang on, that was muted again.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
And so
I checked
that
it.
yeah,
means
it's
we
okay.
were
It's
muted
okay.
the whole
Okay.
time on Facebook.
Well, no, you're not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the
Okay.
person, the guests coming in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a thing. Anyway, and so they pop up this video of Debbie's last message to her family, and it was so beautiful, and you can see the authenticity and the humbleness in her, and
She was so at peace. And
she
you
was
could
very at
tell
peace. Yeah,
she was not scared. She was it was just like, you know, she's just giving a speech. No, there was no crying.
not from her, but her husband was crying, and
Yeah.
several at the table were crying,
But it wasn't like bawling. I mean, it
Right.
was, you know, just wiping of tears, but she was so humble about it
Yeah.
and just at peace with it.
So one of her main messages to her family was this, and it was to make sure that you're honoring your marriage. And if you honor your marriage and you honor your spouse and you spend each day bringing joy to their life or doing something special, then that trickles down to your children.
Yes.
And then it will trickle down to your children's children. And so when you have the focus on the marriage, on your spouse, and you know, serving each other, that just that leads the path for how your family dynamic is going to live
Absolutely.
in general.
Mhm.
And then that very final message that she, and well, one of her biggest quotes is to make the heart help me out, Nona. Your home is where your heart is formed. So like a lot of times
Yes.
you hear that home is where the heart is,
Yeah.
but she has always said the home is where the heart is formed.
Right.
And so making a home of love and peace is her goal. And that was a big part of why she created her missionary work, why she wrote a book. And here's one of the quotes in the book, and I have this book at home. And one of the lines in here, she says, "Be inspired, be equipped, be encouraged, experience love, experience peace. It is never too late to improve. You're awesome. I love you, Debbie
Oh,
Titus."
Love it.
So I mean, the most important thing is the one at the end. It's never too late to improve, and that goes, and that's for everybody.
Right.
That's everybody. We have the opportunity every single day to grow.
Well, I like to say power. We have the power to grow, because if we say that you have the opportunity, that's an opportunity. Opportunities come and go, but you have the power every day to decide,
Absolutely,
to make a decision,
Yes.
to do your best and live your best day and live your best life.
Right.
yes.
Every day, and choose to learn and grow in whatever it is that you want to learn and grow in spirituality. I like to grow. I like to learn a lot of things. Like I'm seriously listening to probably like 3 audibles at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I literally have a stack
3
of books, and that's how
that.
I'm starting my morning with multiple devotionals, and then another book. I brought 3 of them in here because I didn't do it yet this morning. But just taking away the very last thing that Debbie said is to make every day special, not for you necessarily, but for those around you. And when you do that, it automatically makes the day. It makes it special for you too, because
Right.
you reap the reward of bringing joy to others. So we're going to stick with that here and head to a commercial, and we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes.
Abnormal realities.
I love my mom.
Yep. She sent me a message.
My mom did?
Yeah, Wednesday night. And she invited me over tomorrow night to watch Titanic and share a bowl of popcorn. And I accepted.
You did?
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And she calls it Chaps Only Night. Every Saturday night.
Look.
Miss Dixie,
Look,
how you doing? He said, it's my mom, bro. All right, it's my mom.
I want to hear the answer to the Titanic and popcorn. Go ahead, Mom. What's up?
Oh!
Hi, boys.
Hi,
I
Mom.
just wanted to ask Rocky if he wanted butter on that popcorn or not.
I would rather have the butter somewhere else, but if popcorn's the only place I can have it, I'll take it.
Jeez,
hey,
dude.
nobody says I can't roll around in it for a little bit.
All right, Mom.
That is my
Love you.
girl. I love you,
Mom.
Dixie.
Abnormal realities
My mom, love you.
Dixie.
Bye. I love you too.
with Ron and Rocky. Weekdays, 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on JoCo Community Radio.
Holy crap.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give him a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
Welcome back to the second half of JoCo Vibes here on JoCo Community Radio. We, as in JoCo Community Radio, is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. TuneInJoCo.com is the place to find all the ways to listen and watch, and the station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store and get it downloaded. Check out our lineup and more at JoCoCommunityRadio.com. This episode and more brought to you by, well, it's Next Level Claims. It used to be Patriot Claims, but it's Next Level Claims because, and our major sponsor has swapped because unfortunately the owner of Patriot Claims lost his battle with cancer in the fall of in late 2022. So blessings to his family. I know we've talked about it before, but just kind of wanted to put that out there. So Next Level Claims has taken over, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844-TEX-HAIL. That's 844-839-4245. Be sure to dress your arms and more at the Tiffy.com. That's THETIFFIE. That's Tiffy sleeves, the Tiffy Forever scarf, all made in the USA, all season accessories for fashion accessories for women that help stretch the budget of your wardrobe. So check it out. Lots of cool stuff coming with that website and everything else. Lots of updates. So welcome back. I'm Tiffany Carlen with Nona Reed and Diana Roberts. And we were given just a little bit of a tribute to Debbie Titus and talking about a celebration of life that we had attended for her this past Saturday that was absolutely moving and touching and beautiful and absolutely inspiring. It completely inspired me. Like I left going, and we were both talking about it. I'm like, I feel so unworthy. I'm a terrible wife. I'm a terrible mother. I mean, just, and not in a sad way, but in a way of, man, I got to step up my game.
Yeah.
You know, I want to step up my game. It really made me look back and reflect on what I can do better, where I can be better. I can do better, which is really who I am anyway. But it makes you think. It really does make you think and reflect on your life and how you can make every day special for your family and your friends. And so hence finding, atomizers on everybody's, desk,
That was so sweet.
yesterday.
Thank you.
So So, you know, lots of things like that. So, I mean, you can make every day special in your own way. It doesn't mean that you have to go do something for somebody. It could be as simple as holding the door open, sharing a smile with a stranger who really needed it. I think it's easy to get super frustrated at people, like I was this morning driving in here. May have lost my marbles for like 5 seconds in the car, maybe a little longer than that. And then pray for those people. Like, Lord, whatever it is that they have going on in this moment, get them off their cell phone, or bring them peace, or like, you know, whatever you can do, right? So bringing joy and peace to others on a daily basis doesn't mean that it's something that has to be seen by them. It's something that you can do without it being
Right.
seen.
It could just be checking on somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, you know, just sending a, hey, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Absolutely.
You know, to put a smile on their face. Maybe they haven't heard from anybody in a minute and, you know, they just need a friend and they
You know
need somebody to talk to.
who's really good at doing that?
Who?
Lyric.
Yes, Lyric is
Yeah.
so great at doing that. She is.
All right, well, I'm going to transition to our focus word of the week. It's how one word a week will transform your life. We read this once a week. We give you the new word. We don't read them beforehand. And I like to tell people that because there's always a message in it, even for us, and it seems to like coincide with all of these things that we have going on around us. And you know, that's the way the Spirit works. So this week's word is the word with. Teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of age. Matthew 28:20. And the tip for the word of the week is when fear overcomes you this week, remember with God is with you. You are not alone. He will never forsake you. Know it, believe it, and stand on it. So I like that. You're never alone.
Right.
And whatever change or season you are in your life, I think people get lonely and they confuse that word with being alone. And it's two separate things. It's really two separate things.
You can be surrounded by people and still be lonely.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I actually, that's one of my big questions that I've put on my questionnaire for my life coaching, to put onto my website and to provide to clients before they, you know, meet with me. So it's a great question because, you know, when you're alone, how do you feel? What are you feeling when you're alone? And I think that that's a very very, very powerful question.
I feel at peace
Yeah,
when
see,
I'm
peace
alone.
is one of the answers that I have. It's either peace or depressed or frustrated
or anxious.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody experiences that differently. I've been asked, how do you go out and eat lunch by yourself or eat dinner all completely by yourself? I'm like, happily. Because in every moment is when you're alone, there's so much going around you to observe.
Yeah.
Which brings moments of learning. It brings moments of laughter. If you're really paying attention to what's going on around you, it brings moments of wisdom and reflection.
Yes.
Entertainment. I mean, it really just depends on how you look at the scenario and where you choose to sit. Let's say you're alone out eating by yourself. I choose my seat very carefully. And that's so that I can see
everybody
and everything that's going on in the room. Whether, you know, I've gone and sat at Capitol Grill and I've eaten by myself. And so I always end up in a conversation. Sometimes I've ended up in conversations I don't want to be in. Because I've like walked away going, why did they just tell me all that stuff? Oh, it's my chakra. I understand now. So, you know, it's all about perspective.
Yes.
That's the best way I can put it. It's all about perspective. And, you know, I love being with my friends too and with my family. But if I have those moments and opportunity to go be alone, I happily take that. Now, I had said this, I think we talked about this. Was it you and I talking about this on the drive home from the funeral, from the celebration of life, where I said maybe my perspective would be different if I didn't ultimately have a family to come home to.
Right.
After I had that time alone, maybe it would be different, you know? And so I respect that for those who are in that position where they're not coming home to a family or a significant other that they're like, oh, okay, well, that comfort, that that comfort is there, right? That you have someone.
But you did that even when you were single. I think we talked about because you traveled a lot.
Well,
And
when
you
I traveled a lot, we weren't married when I started that
Right.
job, but I lived alone over here in Fort Worth and Todd was in Lubbock.
And you
And
lived
so-
alone in Florida.
Yeah, I had roommates the whole time.
Yeah,
It doesn't compare.
Yeah.
I can't
Right.
compare because I
No.
was dating someone and we were living together. And so but I had lived alone completely in
Mhm.
Florida, and I went through massive periods of raging anxiety. And that's because I was being spiritually attacked, but I didn't know it at the time.
Mhm.
Well, I kind of knew it. And so it was a wholly completely different experience of what
Mhm.
I went through. I would have a friend, a dear friend of mine would come over. I mean, I literally raging anxiety. Pulse points were all burning. My heart rate was through the roof. And then of course you think you're having a heart attack. And so I've experienced all of that.
Mhm.
I have experienced all that. But traveling, I mean, I traveled 85% of the time for my corporate job, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved every
yeah.
bit of it. And I hear people, even when I'm in the airport now, complaining about traveling. And I'm like, find the joy
In everything.
in
Mhm.
everything.
Yes.
And I don't care if it was, I went through some frustration on this last trip I took to Minnesota in the airport, but it was a fleeting moment, and I got through. I was able to have my quick drink before I got on the plane. All things that I like. These were things that I like to do when I get to the airport. I like to sit, watch, observe.
You're an observer. That's what it is.
I'm a big time people watcher, but I'm also songwriting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a story.
Yeah.
I'm looking for. I mean,
Well, and this is the thing, you're not alone. Like, that's why alone bothers me, because I'm never alone. I have myself.
right.
If you think of yourself like that, like, I love myself enough to where I can spend just time with myself.
Yes.
I'm not alone.
Mm.
I have myself to be there with. I
But-
have things that I can do that I enjoy doing without having anybody else interjecting on if they like it or not.
Well, that's
or
the
if they're
whole-
having a good time or fun.
And that's the whole thing with the word "with" on the focus
Mhm.
word again, because if you're a faith person, if you're someone who believes, we're never alone.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
really never alone. The Spirit is with you always. And it's how you choose to communicate at
Mhm.
that time. Or, I mean, I'm like always talking in my head, always talking in my head. Maybe there's multiple voices. That's very possible. And so we're never really alone, but that's perspective. That's how you look at those moments of being alone.
Yeah.
And then recognizing, okay, are you lonely or are you alone? And what do those two things look like, and separating them, because they are separate.
They are separate.
Mhm.
And what makes you feel lonely? And that's the part you have to look back and reflect on and go, okay, what is it that I'm missing in my life that makes me feel lonely? And how can I change it? And some of that comes with comfort within yourself, and in being able to be alone with yourself and not be lonely,
Right.
and just enjoy life. I think we've been so well. I'm gonna kind of backtrack on what I'm about to say, because going according to church, which you have in front of you, because we experienced something new this weekend as well on Sunday night, and we are not God designed to be alone.
Right.
We are God designed to have partners, to be around other people,
to have connections. Like,
to
we
have
have to be
connection.
connections.
Yeah.
Our energy needs it.
which is very interesting, because this is literally what he talks about, and connection, community.
Mhm.
Where's that line I went to look for? So belonging to something,
Right.
or belonging to a community.
Mhm.
It means we arrange our life around connection, not convenience.
Yes.
And so you have to recognize those two things as to what they
Mhm.
are. We have to arrange our life around community, not a clique.
Right.
So
That one was
that's
good.
huge,
Yeah.
because it's community is all of us. If you're constantly sticking in this little clique, this group of your same people, then you're closed in, and you can't possibly be for the community or be serving a community of people, because you're stuck in this little group.
Mhm.
So it's all about rearranging your focus. And then belonging means arranging our life around celebration, not cynicism.
Yeah. Don't even.
Okay.
Don't even.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I took my readers off. That's why. See? So, we can put this perspective. If you're not a church going person, you can kind of look at this two different ways. There's two reasons why people have a hard time belonging to a church or a community, not a clique, but a community. They don't think they're good enough.
Yeah. It's insecurity. It's fear and insecurity. 100%.
Or they think they're better than everyone
Right.
else.
I mean, that is very true too.
So you can limit yourself by thinking that you're not good enough
Right.
to be in this group. Like even if you were looking at it as a band, right?
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. I can't. I don't par up to these amazing, talented musicians, right?
Mhm.
Or you're like, I'm a solo artist because I'm way better than all of you. And so there's like
So your ego.
sitting back and looking at the perspective, whether we're talking about church, whether we're talking about a community, whether we're talking about a music band or just an organization, which one are you?
Right.
Are you feeling not good enough? Or are you feeling, I'm too good for you people? Okay. Right. And when you do that, you tend to then get stuck in a clique. And either you're in a clique with a group of people who think that they're better than everybody else,
Mhm.
or you're in a clique that thinks I'm not worthy, you're not worthy. And then they stay there. And then you tend to attack the community
Mhm.
that you're ultimately really wanting to be a part of. So
Right.
there's a lot there to unwrap.
Yeah, it was really good.
And so,
But he also talked about the devil wants us alone so he can prey on you.
right.
And,
Mess with your psyche.
again, I don't care. Most people do believe in God. And it doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. You are still part of God.
Yeah, we're
He's
all
with
made in
you
his
no
image.
matter what.
Yeah.
And guess what? The devil's still going to attack you also. And he's attacking you if you don't believe too.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, and even if I think sometimes believers are attacked even
oh,
more because he's
believers
just
are
trying to pluck us
totally
off.
attacked.
He's trying to pluck
Yes.
us off one by one because evil does exist and nobody can
Yes.
deny that evil exists. And God's ultimate goal is to divide and conquer. And when you divide, it's easier to conquer the person when they're stuck in their own loneliness
Right.
and moments of vulnerability.
Right.
And when that happens, people tend to get preyed on. We've seen it here. All across Johnson County, this is happening, right? One person's not feeling worthy of themselves. So what happens? It's easier for someone to come along and go, oh, come hang out with us, right?
Yeah.
And then people will go, oh my gosh, I have a group now, a clique.
Right.
I'm in the
Yeah.
clique now, right?
Yeah.
And you get stuck there because you don't allow yourself to grow beyond that. That we could call it a friendship group.
Force field.
It's how,
Like
it's how cults have formed.
Absolutely. Well, I kind of look back at high school. I mean, I was never.
Oh yeah.
I was never a part. I was never fully accepted into like a clique.
Yeah.
I never considered myself in that. I was friends with everybody.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah,
I
which
saw
is
myself.
why I was party giver of the year, and
I was not the party giver.
I didn't not know a friend.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody that I wasn't nice to or didn't talk to. It didn't matter if you were a jock or if you were, I guess in today's world they would call them emo. But I don't know what they called. I don't know
They
what
were goths.
Goth.
No, I mean,
We had
no, we were
goths.
just
We
hard.
did.
There was just like a group. Yeah, they were like they were hard rockers. They
Right.
We're the goth.
yeah.
Well,
No, they were not
about.
goth.
I'm not about stereotyping.
goth.
I always tell people, don't
We had
stereotype.
hard rockers. We had goth.
No, but
to
I mean,
me,
just
I remember.
I know, but
having
I'd
The
say
two
hard
different
rockers.
ones.
They were leather jackets and they were into heavy metal. And then you had the
mean,
pot
but
smokers.
There were goths too, but they were two
Yeah.
different people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we rarely. I don't think we had a lot of goth people in my high school. But
And you
Anyway,
had the
the po-
cholos and the cholas, and I hung out with them.
well, I'm from Jersey, so
and-
I mean, we had.
I grew up in
Puerto
San
Ricans.
Diego.
It didn't matter.
Don't judge me.
It didn't matter. I mean, seriously, it just didn't matter. I never looked at anybody like that when I was in high school.
Right.
I didn't care. The whole purpose was
Right.
I didn't care.
No.
I had one friend, and I won't say his name, but he'd already started to transition. And in that time, in the late 80s, you didn't think about that. It wasn't such a big talked about thing.
Mhm.
And one day we were walking down the hallway and I put my hand on his back and he had a bra strap. He had a bra on. And so that's where the conversation ensued between the two of us about what he was going through. And I saw him years later as a woman, and he was working in a shoe store. And I haven't looked for him lately because I'm not sure. I think he's going by Francis, which was his last name. And he is who he is, and you just respect people for whatever it is that
Right.
they're going through, or they
Right.
choose how they choose to live their life. It's none of my damn business.
Right.
And so love them for who they are. And if you can't, then go
Love 'em
on
from a distance.
Go on. Yeah. Go on about
Right.
your way, but don't sit in judgment of other people
No,
about
no.
their lifestyle choices
No,
or
absolutely not.
who they choose to love or the color of their skin. If you have an issue with it, that's an internal issue.
Yeah.
And it's something that
Mhm.
you're struggling with yourself. So, and not necessarily with who it is that you're looking at and going, oh, I don't like what they're doing. Okay.
Right.
Don't like what they're doing. You don't.
Jealousy is typically your own insecurities.
Yes.
Right.
So if you're judging somebody else by their appearance or by how they're dressed or anything like that, it's your own insecurity with your own self. So really like take a look at yourself and be like, okay, why would I say, like, why can't I just let this person dress the way they want?
Mhm.
Why am I feeling this kind of way? Why am I trying to think like that? That's not how I want to
Right.
think.
It's
you
how
know?
that's internal. That's how
Yeah.
that's your feeling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is your problem and your challenge.
And
And-
unfortunately, we've been hardwired to
yeah.
be like that. I mean, we've been taught for so many years, the wrong way. I think sometimes because it's what you're hearing, right? It's how your family
Well, but
was,
I
or
think,
how
but not everybody's
people you're
been
hanging out
taught
with.
that.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, I was not raised that way. I grew up in a melting pot, on the East Coast, and it didn't matter. My classroom was, a rainbow of, it was a crayon box,
Right.
rather. That was a better way of putting it. It was a crayon box. And you don't think of that as a child.
No.
No, that it's taught, like you said,
Mhm.
it's taught
is
behavior.
taught. It
That
is taught
wasn't taught
behavior.
in my household. We weren't taught
No.
to look at anybody differently. You just love people.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's how I
Now,
was raised too.
is that how a lot of other people were raised? No.
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 But you know what? You can change that. You can change that cycle, and you can change that generational curse too, because it is a
Absolutely.
generational curse. So you have a choice whether you want to continue a legacy of negativity and hate
Mm-hmm.
or discomfort or jealousy
Or cruelty.
right? Judgment,
Mhm.
or you can choose to not be that way.
Right.
But we can't ever sit back and go, oh, that's the way that my family, that's just how they were raised. Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a cop out and excuse when we
Mhm.
say,
Agreed.
well, they were just raised that way. Okay.
That doesn't mean they can't change it.
Can't
Like when I
change.
say that, I
Yeah.
typically mean, look, you've just been wired wrong. Like let's retrain your brain, retrain your mind, change it.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Make it different. Oh, you're stuck.
Uh,
Uh,
So something else Pastor Todd talked about. It was so funny because, of course, this is our first Bible study, and it's a Bible study that's going to create into a church, and we're going to be a church of bringing in everybody and going out and worshiping. And he talked about resolutions, and he talked about a resolution being a want to,
right.
and a change being a will do.
Yeah.
So I thought that was real interesting because, we had just,
We just talked about that.
talked about not making resolutions. Good grief. As I'm talking, my throat is
Hello,
changing.
baby. My husband says hello.
Oh, hello. And so, excuse me. I thought that was great because, I've always I quit doing resolutions.
Yeah.
But that change I am doing with my daily devotional Bible day
Yeah.
time. I don't really still have a time. I just do it whenever I feel like it.
So the time it makes
Yeah.
it makes it more of like a schedule. Like, now
Right.
it's scheduled in.
Yes. But it is a will do.
It is.
And if I do miss a day, I will go back and listen to that day
Right.
or read that day.
Yeah.
So, because it's the book in a year.
That's
It's
how
the
I feel
Bible in a
about
year. So
going back and working
Mhm.
out. I mean, it's hard for me to get up in the morning, and I really enjoy going with Lyric. I
mhm.
could go probably any time of the day if I really wanted to, but I really enjoy going with Lyric.
Well, it's always nice to be able
Yeah.
to be with someone. Yes.
It is. And so like even if she doesn't go though, I've even made it a point to go, or if
Good.
she says she's not showing up or I'm not gonna make it, I'm still on my way,
Uh-huh.
or I'm still gonna go. I'm not
See, and
gonna
I'm-
like decline.
This is where I'm completely opposite. I really don't want to go work out with my husband. I don't want to go work out with someone else. I have my own routine.
Yeah.
And he's not a morning workout. He wants to go work out in the evening or whenever he has time. And I'm like, no, I like to get it done in the morning because I want to dry brush. I want to take my shower.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to shower twice a day. I mean, I these are like things. So I'm completely opposite in that. I'm self-motivated once I'm in my groove,
Right.
but it's one of those things I really do prefer to do to, work
So why
out by
don't you
myself.
go in the morning and let him go in the evening?
We're going
you're
to,
gonna-
but we're
okay.
trying to at least make the commitment since I didn't get up and go this morning
Yeah.
that I'm going
Right.
this afternoon because
Right.
I have to get it going. And my trainer already has this stuff laid out for me. And, I just need to go do it. Hey, by the way, happy birthday to Jamie Stanford.
Oh, happy birthday.
It's her birthday. I know
Jamie.
there's some other birthdays too, and good morning, Darren Roberts.
Yeah, she said hello.
Hello, ladies. So I just got to do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like
You
it's
will
keeping yourself motivated.
do.
Yeah, you will do. So like that's what I was gonna say. Like I missed yesterday. I did not get up yesterday to go to the gym. So I told myself, I was like, you know what? I am gonna go tomorrow. Regardless, I'm just gonna get my butt up. And I did. So it happens.
Yes, and that's another thing. Like if you fell a day because you got behind or whatever, you don't have. It's just like doing a diet.
Yeah.
If you screw up on that lunch, you don't have to completely go, oh, I've just completely just bombed. I'm done. I can't do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And just give up.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to give up.
Okay, I screwed up. I wanted that ice cream that bad that I ate it, and that's okay. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Let's get going. And
Figure out how you're going to work the
yeah.
calories off.
Mhm.
That's why I
Um,
can't stand diets because
it is
when
really quick.
when you're on a diet, it's so strict and it's so like this is what you have to eat. You can only eat this. So then you're taking away from living your life.
Diets
Like
don't
if
work.
you want some ice cream,
Right.
go eat some ice cream. Just don't
Mhm.
overindulge in it. Have a couple of bites of it and put it away, or have like a very small little tiny bowl or find a substitute that is like kind of resembles ice cream
Right.
that is low. It's very low in sugar or low in
Well, and
whatever.
you can
So
make
I
those
don't know
too.
if you said this when I went to the restroom really quick, but one of the things, a good takeaway, people make New Year's resolutions, which
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we
Those-
did. That's
you
what we're
did-
talking
you did
about.
already talk about
Yeah,
it.
that's what
Okay,
we're talking
all right,
about
I'm
right
not
now.
gonna say anything because I love that. It's not about a diet; it's about a lifestyle change.
Right.
If you
Yes.
truly want to lose weight and be healthier, it's a lifestyle change.
Mhm.
And
Um,
mindset.
Counting macros and your calories is the best way you could do it. Do not deprive yourself of carbs. Don't deprive yourself of anything. Everything is in moderation.
Yes.
And if you're a Bible reading person, the Bible literally teaches us that it all comes from the Bible. Everything in moderation, and you will be okay. And that includes working out.
Absolutely.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Have
You
an
don't have to
amazing
go
day,
full force.
guys. Be well. God bless. And we'll see you back here tomorrow morning on Thankful Thursday.
Have a wow week.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, JoCo Community Radio.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5827.